second. Now you're live.
I won't say what I was going to say.
You're live.
Hey, hello, how is everyone today? It is a hot day today. Not only is the weather warm and that kind of thing here, but we also are next to a lot of flame going on. So
Only 98 degrees today.
yes, so it's nice and warm and toasty in here. Manon, come on over here. You guys have all met Manon before when she first came to us from France. So today was her first day to be in the still room with us because we're now in harvest season, distillation season, festivals behind us. Yep, come on over closer so she can get you. So she has been doing a fantastic job today, watching the essential oils of where the levels need to be and the hydrosols. And so if you can see, the top part of this is our essential oil right here, from here to here, and then this is our hydrosol. So some people say, what is a hydrosol? And just so you know, I'll show you over here. We've got, and Manon, if you'll keep watching those so I can talk. We have a brochure that's on hydrosols, and it tells you what they are. But in general, what we can tell you, and we also have a lot of different. You want to show them these, Christina? These are some of our information cards that we have. I'm all about education. So in our store, we have all these cards, and these tell you what the different essential oils would do. Like, for example, this is a photo of lime. This tells you a bit about the plant, where it's normally from, originally, those kinds of things botanically. On the back side, we have icons that tell you things that it does. For example, with lime, for in your home, you can diffuse it so you have an uplifting atmosphere. For skin, it's a great astringent for your oily skin. Emotionally, it can be cleansing and it can be uplifting and those kinds of things. So let me show you kind of what those look like. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's going to be backwards, I know, on the camera when you see these. But then, you know, you think that all citruses are the same, but they're not, because they chemically have different things in them. So Tangelo is really good. Here's a Tangelo picture, okay, and a little bit about it. So it's really good for acne and greasy skin. It's also beneficial for excessive perspiration too. So those that have an issue with that.
Sweaty pit issues.
Anti-stress, anti-anxiety. So they're a little different, even though they're both citruses. So I'm going to put those down. That gives you a little bit of a couple of uses.
Somebody asked the question on our Facebook page today. Why? Hello, Karen. Oh, I'm glad you like the cards. Why would somebody use hydrosols? Like, what are they? Because essential oils are more common.
Or why would we use them? There's two
Both.
different questions.
Like, why would you use that over essential oil, hydrosol?
Well, okay. So the reason you would use a hydrosol is essentially, as hydrosol is about 1/1000th of the strength of an essential oil. So a hydrosol is safe with babies and children. It's safe with elderly, where essential oils really aren't. So she's trying to tell me where to stand.
I'm trying to get it so they can see it percolating right now.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out what you were doing. Anyway, so a hydrosol, being the fact that it has a lot of the same benefits as an essential oil, but safe for all ages, all health conditions. In general, that's the main reason. But also, you can use it in ways that you can't use an essential oil. So you would use a hydrosol directly on your skin. But an essential oil, you should not do that, except under a rare occasion under the guidance of an aromatherapist or someone who practices aromatic medicine, which those are certifications that take a lot of work and a lot of study, and you have to pass tests, and there's a board that you have to sit for the boards. So true aromatherapy and aromatic medicine have a lot more to them than just, you know, using essential oils and listening to someone that's, you know, maybe at a health food store or sells it in some other way. So a hydrosol, being safe, you can use again for the young, the old, and those who are infirmed in some way. They have the benefits of essential oils, but sometimes they don't have a few of those same constituents, but they sometimes have some that the essential oils don't, because some of the constituents are hydrolyphic. That means they want to attach themselves to the water, distillate waters. Some are lipid kind of oils, so they want to go towards the more the oil side of things. So in general, they have the same, but a little bit differences. So that's one reason why you would like to use them. If I'm going to use a hydrosol, well, if I'm going to, I do every day, all day long, I use hydrosols. So I start my day with on my face. I will do either a lavender and or a rose geranium, because I'm at an age where I'm thinking about the potential for wrinkles and that kind of aging issues. So a lavender is really good at cell regeneration. So that's a very good thing for us at this age, or at any age for that matter. Rose geranium is really good for anti-wrinkling. It also balances our hormones. So it's got a lot of really great benefits. So I spray it all on my face for my skin, but I breathe it in deep for the hormonal balancing and emotional balancing and calming. So that's one way.
AKA menopause support. There you go.
or postmenopause support, whatever. Yeah. So anyway, so then if I'm like today it's hot, I'm real likely to go grab a lime hydrosol and just do it as a body spray, because it's so uplifting. It cools you down and it lifts your emotions. So it's really good for that. If you have, I tend to go towards skin issues right now, but if you, that's what I've been focusing on lately. So if you are going to use a Douglas fir hydrosol, that's what you want to use if you have acne and those kinds of things. But also, you just read, was it Tangelo? I believe is for acne and greasy skin. So Tangelo is another one that you could use for that. It's a different aroma, and you might.
So you said it's like for could you use like a hydrosol that's like you said the Tangelo is good for like sweat. So could you almost use that as like a deodorant instead of like a chemical?
I use hydrosols for deodorant every day.
So yes, looking for natural deodorant. There you go.
There you go.
Tangelo hydrosol.
And sometimes if it's during this time of year, if I feel like I need a bit more, you can get at the store in the health food area, kind of the store, and I know you've all heard about them. They're the stones in the container you can get. I'll spray the hydrosol on that and then use it.
Instead of water?
Yes.
Yeah.
I make sure I use the one that does not have aluminum in it, though. To me, that's important. So that works extremely well. Anyway, I use them all day long for all kinds of things. You can use them to spray ones that are calming, and lots of them are, all over your pillow and your linens to go to bed at night to help you sleep. You can use...
So right now, we're going to pause for a second. Manon is draining the hydrosol and keeping the essential oil at the top. So if you guys are going to watch that.
We adjust it the whole time we're distilling. We're making adjustments. So we want to keep the essential oil right at this level. We also measure how many gallons. We record what time we get to another gallon marker, because that helps us know if our flame is at the right state for an optimum hydrosol. We are predominantly we are distilling for hydrosol right now because we want a high quality hydrosol. If all we wanted was essential oil, most of this essential oil comes across within the first hour to an hour and a half, and we would be done. Instead, we distill for a long period of time. By the time we start our day and end our day, it's a 12-hour day. Not distilling the whole time. Part of it's packing the stills, preparing to get ready for distillation, and the cleanup. And the reason that we do a longer distillation with hydrosols is because you do it slower, and there are chemical constituents that are larger molecules. So they take longer to release and for the steam to carry it up and bring it down into our product. So by doing a longer day, we're getting, not only are we certified organic and completely pure, completely unadulterated, but also what we're doing is capturing those molecules that in a commercial operation you don't have time to do. So they just kind of go through the next one very quickly, and they do multiple distillations in a day. Well, we take one distillation in a day so that we can capture those molecules that would be missed otherwise. So we have a complete product, is how I say it.
So explain real quick. Yeah, explain the process, because I'm sure that's like at the festival, people are like, what's the whole process of this? Right. And it's kind of hard to show at that point.
Here and try not to burn myself because everything is hot.
Ooh. Don't burn yourself.
Yeah, let me just adjust this a little bit. So one of the things that has to happen is...
Do you have to talk a little louder?
Okay. One of the things that has to happen, which I'm doing right now, this is water in here, and we adjust the flow of water inside the condensing unit because, well, when I get through the whole process, come back to that. I think it'll make more sense if I start at the beginning.
Okay.
So at the beginning, here's what we're going to say. We've got, this is very much similar to the atmosphere of our entire world. So when it's hot outside and there's moisture and it rises, the humidity rises and the steam rises and that kind of thing, up into the atmosphere and you're in the clouds. So what happens is it gathers there and it rises up. And then when it turns cold, what happens? It liquefies again and comes down in the way of rain, and if it's really cold, snow. Okay, so that's kind of a general thing about our atmosphere. Well, the same process basically happens right here in a miniature form. So you put your plant material inside the pot.
How much plant material of lavender do you have in there right now? Like how many pounds?
105 pounds total.
And so if you were to take that and divide that into like a part of your field, how much of that field does that take to fill that?
It depends on the age of the plant, the variety of the plant. There's just way too much.
So 105 pounds of lavender is in there.
So 105, well, if it's a mature plant, that's an angustifolia, so everything matters. So if it's a mature plant of angustifolia, maybe you're getting a pound and a half per plant, and if you're doing it, let's do say 100 pounds, that means you're going to have about 75 plants in a still.
That's crazy.
Okay, so if you're going to do that, if I do my math right, that is, if you're going to do that, then you're going to get about 14, 16 ounces of essential oil from that. And then you're going to, and it depends on so many variables. I'm just saying these are really huge generalities because how dry it is, how hot it is, what time of day did you harvest. I'm sorry for the wind. We have to have this open because we have high-powered propane going on. And now we've got a lot of noise going on too. I don't know why.
The wind just like totally got crazy throughout here.
Could you go close both of the doors on the sides so that it doesn't blow through as crazy? So the terroir always affects everything. You know, how hot is it? How cold is it? What time of day did you harvest? How soon do you get it in the stills after harvest? How far into the season is it? All those things are variables.
Karen's,
so I'm gonna give you just a real general.
Yeah. Karen's asking how many gallons of water you're putting through there.
So today, with this particular botanical, because we have the same in both of them, today we have 35, we have 35 gallons of water in here today. From that, we're going to get 15 gallons of hydrosol. The rest will be left in the still and with the mark, which is the spent botanical, which will then go into our composting pile. All of our water that pours off of these for the cooling units goes straight to a drain that waters our willow tree. So we try not to waste anything at all. So anyway, the plant material goes in the pot, goes in the column. There's a lot of math goes into that, so I won't even go there right now. Water goes in, it's heated up. It takes about an hour and a half for it to get warm enough for any action to start taking place.
You guys can see
the flame. So we have a certain period of time that a gallon must go through to be at its optimum, to have the optimum temperature and all that. So we are always making adjustments. You can hear things when you're a distiller that tell you, oh, or earlier Manning could tell you, right? I knew a second it was time for me to do something by the smell in the room. Just different things like that. You start. It's more of an art. This
isn't something necessarily you can just go pick up as a hobby. How many classes have you taken on this?
I don't know, thousands of dollars worth, and I've had teachers from all over the world, all over the globe. I've been super blessed, and I learned something from every single teacher that I've had, and I learned something every time I distill as well, because distillation is an art and a science. It's both. So you have to know your botany. You have to know your chemistry. You need to know a lot of different, and for an aromatherapist, you also need to know, about the human body and your health, your anatomy, those types of things. So, anyway, for distillation, I'm going to finish the process here. We keep getting sidetracked a bit. So we start with the water heating up after about an hour and a half-ish, depending on the time of year. When I'm doing my citruses in the winter time, it takes a long time for it to heat up enough because there's usually snow right out here where you're looking at sunshine right now. There's snow. and we have the doors open. I'm bundled. I'm cold. So where I'm hot now, I'm cold then, but I'm so grateful for the flame. But anyway, so this, what happens is the steam, as the essential oil is released from the botanical, the steam carries it up through all of the product, hits the cap. Can you see the cap up here? The cap, it circles around until it goes up into the top. The steam is carrying that essential oil. It's a wonderful lift system. Goes up through what we call the swan neck. You see that? Okay, and then after it goes through the swan neck, I'd like to come over there, but I'm afraid I'm going to get burned.
Can you go on the back
I
side?
can go on the back side.
So it goes.
Okay, on this side now.
Do you guys like my sound effects?
Yeah, she's got her sound effects going. So what happens is it comes through the swan neck, it comes down into here, and what I just touched it and shouldn't have. So what you don't see is this continues all the way in this, in a coil this big.
So is that swan neck? Is that hot?
Pardon me?
Is that hot water? Like, is it
Right
heat?
here?
No, at
That's supposed to be
the pipe.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is steam carrying essential oil. When it gets in here and hits the cool water that's surrounding it inside of here, this coil that's in here is still carrying it. It's still a closed system. But the water that's surrounding the coil cools it, liquefies it, and then it goes down into the separatory funnel, which you see right here. Let me put that down here. And I normally wear closed-toed shoes for this, but I decided that I was going to be filmed, so I tried to look a little better than I usually do. Anyway, so it comes into the separatory funnel. Most all essential oils rise to the top, the hydrosols to the bottom. There's some really fun ones though, because some of those are, instead of rising to the top, the oil is going to drop to the bottom. So it's totally the opposite. And that's
Like,
really
what's
kind
an
of fun.
example of that?
Well, I can tell you oregano is really a fun one because it does both. It has some oil that goes to the bottom and some oil that goes to the top, and your hydrosol is in the middle. It's a rare one that does that kind of a thing. And you have to be really careful with some of them. I mean, lavenders are great and beautiful, but with oregano, I never bottle without gloves on with any of them. But oregano, you have to be especially careful. I actually made a mistake last year when I was distilling oregano on my small still over there, Felicity, and I was dumb enough to not put my gloves on. I had one drip of it go on my hand, and it literally burned me.
Wow, I did not know oregano could do that.
Yeah, it can do that when it's that strong. Essential oils are powerful, so people should not be putting this down their throat without. Yeah, they need to know what they're doing. So yeah, it can be really.
So you just mentioned one of your names of a still. She actually has her name. Each still has its own name. So once you introduce your stills,
let me get down from here. Now that I've climbed up here.
we'll film you awkwardly getting down. No, I'll zoom in over here.
Yeah, please. I messed up all my layout here for you. Anyway, so traditionally,
Let's start with your little guy.
I will, but let me explain it first.
Okay.
So traditionally, stills have names. And at first I thought that was really an odd thing, but it makes total sense for practical reasons when you're working in a still room and you have more than one person especially. For number one, all your record keeping, because I keep accurate records of every step of the process. Manon is doing a fabulous job, by the way, of keeping the levels correct, keeping the flame at the right temperature. She's been a really quick study on this, and it's her first time to ever be in here because she's gonna be with me tomorrow in here too. She's sort of experiencing a little bit of everything that we do here as an intern. So today's her day to get to do this. So it's been nice for me. It worked out perfect, so I can talk to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to. But she's also recording. If you look over on the board, every time there's a gallon comes through, that time is recorded because we need that information for our records. Anyway, we won't go into that too much, but I forgot what I was going to talk about.
Your names.
Oh, the names. So if you're working with someone in a still room and you're keeping your records and those kinds of things, you want to know, because you learn a lot from those records. Record everything. What's the temperature of the day? What's the wind like? What's the everything? Humidity. What's the inside temperature, the outside temperature? What's the barometrics? All those things impact what you do. So you want to keep good records. You also want to say, you know, this hydrosol isn't as good as it could be. Let's look at that day and see what was going on. And you can go back and you can learn a lot from that, because if you think you're going to remember it, you're just not. You're just not. And so we record everything. To have a name on that sheet tells you which still it came from. Maybe there's something going on with that still. Maybe it needs a little repair of some sort, or who knows? Maybe we don't know. There's probably 10,000 things that could go wrong. That's an exaggeration, but there is probably 1,000 things that could go wrong. So
introduce your
named
stills.
Our stills.
Start with that guy.
I started over here. My first still I got while I was in a training session. I was at Harvest the Hydrosol with Ann Harmon at her place, and I bought this one from her. And that's when I learned that you're supposed to have a name for your stills. So her name is Felicity.
It's Felicity.
And Felicity means happiness and prosperity. And I didn't know that when I named her that, but I was so delighted when I found that out. I was thinking, oh wow, I'm embarking on a new career and something that I'm really enjoying and love, but it's also going to bring happiness and prosperity. I'm still waiting for all that to happen, the prosperity part, but I'm excited because I love that name. Then my next one that I named was actually this one. If you look at these two stills, I got them at the same time. They were imported from Portugal. I'll come closer so you can hear me.
Yeah.
When we brought them in, my husband set them up on the deck. It took 8 weeks for it to come on ship. It was packaged. There was so much popcorn, you can't believe it, to protect them. But we set the 2 pots on the deck, and then instantly I thought, that's going to be a boy name and that's going to be a girl name. And if you look at my pots from the right angle, you can see why. Because this one has bigger hips. She's a bigger, wider pot. He's a little bit taller than she is. Because these are all handmade in Portugal from a family that's been doing it for thousands of years. You have to be a family member to work there. I've seen videos of the process. It is loud, it is noisy, it is dirty, and it's hot. I don't know why someone wanted that career, but I'm so grateful that they did. Anyway, so Bernard was the name of this one.
Hi, Bernard.
He is taller by just a little bit than Felicity. Why? I don't know.
Felicity is the tiny one.
Than Sophia.
That's Sophia right there.
This is Sophia, and this is Bernard. And Sophia means wisdom, and Bernard means a strong, like a bear, strength and foundation. So we have happiness and prosperity, we have wisdom, and we are strong, and we have a solid foundation. And I love that it turned out that way. I didn't realize all that would be when I started out, but it makes me happy. So there you go.
Does anybody else have any questions about distillation or hydrosol that you have for Sandra? Go ahead and throw some questions up there. I'd be happy to answer those real quick. But as you can see, we're still, and if you guys could smell it in here.
Smell vision would be fantastic.
I know, right? It's like so amazing. If you do want to experience some of this, we do farm tours. And we actually, not while she's distilling, but we do farm tours. So if you guys want to look at doing that, we have one this week, I think.
We do.
Yeah, we have one this week.
We have a retirement center coming.
Yeah. So we do private tours. If you guys are interested in that, just contact us at info@eveninglightlavender on email or give us a call. All of our information's on Facebook and our website and stuff. We also have a few events coming up. If you guys have been looking at our Facebook page, that we have the basket class. You want to tell a little bit about that while we're waiting for some questions to come in?
Well, I forgot. I had something else I was going to say, and now I forgot what it was.
Sorry.
Sidetracked me. But we could talk about the classes on another session, I think.
Okay.
Just because I really need to get back to what I'm doing. But there was something I wanted to share with you about this.
Yeah, check out the classes on our website and Facebook page. That's all I'm gonna say.
I guess that's it.
That's it. So we don't have any other questions. Hopefully that helped you guys understand the whole process of essential oils versus hydrosols.
I can share.
Oh, she's got a little tidbit.
Something I can share, because people want to know all of the time, why is this essential oil or hydrosol more expensive than this essential oil or this hydrosol, and why are they expensive? Well, if they aren't expensive, they're not real. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So if you go to the grocery store, the drugstore, Walmart, and you're paying $3 for frankincense, I've seen the test results. There's no frankincense in it. It's 100% chemical. I don't care if it says pure and organic on it. It's not. So the reason they are expensive is you can see that this is how much oil I'm getting out of 105 pounds of lavender. When I do yarrow, we did 60 pounds of yarrow, which by the way is a long harvest process because it's all done wildcrafting. It's hiking up through the forest and cutting just the flower tops off. 60 pounds of little bitty flower tops like this.
It's a lot of plant.
It takes a long time to do that. And you have to leave, we do not harvest more than 10% because we want to be sustainable. We want that to grow back and be prolific moving forward. If we took it all, then we'll not have it the next year. So you have to use only 10% of it. It takes a long time to gather it. Then you get 60 pounds into the pot right here. And when you finish that 60 pounds, that means that you get the equivalent, you get a total of less than 2 ounces of yarrow. In a typical 15 ml essential oil bottle, that's 4 of them. 4, no more. That's not a lot. So what goes into it matters. If you're looking at rose essential oil,
that one's probably the most expensive on the market.
Well, I think there's one other that's more, but it's so expensive because 1 drop of essential oil, rose essential oil, requires 4,400, yes, 4400 rose petals. That's a lot of roses to get 1 drop of essential oil. So it's priceless. It really is. That's why the prices vary. That's why they are not cheap. And again, if they are super cheap, it's probably not essential oil.
Probably don't want to use it. How do you know, this is a question that just came through, how do you know when the lavender, it is at the right point for containing the most oil? I think they're talking about like when it's like time to harvest.
Of variables again on that. Just what are you wanting to distill for? Perfumist might want you to distill it at the very end after it's already lost its bloom and gone to seed, because it has a different aroma that comes with that. If you're looking at it for aromatherapy, you might do it at a different time in the bloom season. So some things, some purposes, you're going to want it when you get your first bloom. Ooh, can you grab that? That's glass.
Goodness gracious.
What is going on here?
The wind is just going crazy all of a sudden.
I know. That's kind of weird. I have no idea what's banging around over there, but we'll fix it in a minute. So whatever your purpose you're using it for will impact when you harvest it. You definitely want to harvest in the cool of the day. You don't want to harvest in the afternoon because guess what? You're walking through that lovely lavender and you're smelling that beautiful aroma. That's because it's going in the air and you're not going to capture it. So you want to capture it before the warmth causes it to go out into the air. So
so they harvest at like 5 a.m. just so you guys know.
So when was the last time it was watered impacts how much oil you get. So optimum, what are you looking for? Quality, aroma. Are you looking for the quantity? There's so many variables.
So
I can't answer you straight.
Paloma, sorry, that's a very long answer to your question, but yeah, lots of variables, lots of variables. Anybody else have any other questions? Otherwise we'll wrap up. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I can turn around so you guys can see. Actually, hi. Thanks so much for watching today and being part of our fan club. And we have had the opportunity to just talk to so many people recently. And for me, being our marketing person and social media person, I don't know what you call it, guru. We have 2,900 likes on our Facebook page as of this morning. I'm so excited you guys love us that much. That just makes me really happy. So share us, like us, share the videos, and share us with your friends and family that might be interested in a healthier lifestyle of using things that are organic and healthful for your bodies. Of our essential oils. Make sure you check out positively-aromatic.com to do any of our shopping. It's all separate from Evening Light Lavender. And again, thanks so much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful day and a great rest of your week. And Manon and Sandra are going to say goodbye.
Bye.